Welcome into episode 34 of the Avetts And Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele, and I have a special guest joining me this week, pinch hitting for me because I had a guest planned, and that because of family reasons, they had to back out this week. And Michael Ganz said, "Of course, I'll come on your show with you." So thank you very much, Michael, for coming on and being a part of episode 34, your second time on the show. Thank you so much.
Am I the first two-time guest?
No, no,
Oh,
not
Jesus.
even close, actually. We got Dan Zlotnick, who is
Oh,
a
right. Dan's always
three-time
stealing my
guest.
thunder. Yeah,
He's been
he's
on
always.
three times. David Childers has been on twice. Cody Gentry's been on twice.
Oh, I knew that one.
Um, I'm trying to think if anyone else has been on twice. Well, you have now. So there you go. You're the next one in line. Can you turn your volume up a little bit? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I
That's
just want to make
probably
sure people can hear you.
that's probably speaker though. Is that right, or is that
Oh, that's a little better. That's a little better.
okay? I didn't know if that was. Try
Oh,
that.
that's good. I can always bump
All
it
right.
up after too, but all right. So let's get into it here. Episode 34. You've had a busy summer of chasing the Avets around and doing other stuff too.
A
Uh,
little bit.
Tell us a little bit about. Well, we'll get into the 100th show thing. We got a lot to talk about here in 38 minutes to go. Big news today, well, or in the last couple of days, what was that? Is that the Avet brothers announced their New Year's Eve plans, and
That's right.
I've been
Apparently,
waiting
their
for that.
their 20th anniversary of doing the New Year's Eve show, which is pretty cool.
That is. And I wonder why it took so long for them to announce it this year. If they were just trying to pin down the venue or what.
It's a big mystery. I don't know. Maybe this. I think there was a hiccup with the VIP, maybe, and
Oh,
getting that locked down. Or I'm not sure.
maybe they just did. They just didn't put it out as early as they normally do. That's
All
uh
the conspiracy theories are rolling around though. Like there's more news to come.
like what? What are the I guess I've missed the conspiracy theories. Let's throw them out there. Let's hear them.
Well, everybody wanted multiple nights for New
Oh,
Year's Eve, and and that didn't happen. So we're just kind of wondering. It's a 20th anniversary of their New Year's Eve, and I
right.
think maybe they might be planning something special.
I hope
It's
so.
already it's already special with Marcus King opening up, so it's gonna be a great night.
Yeah, Marcus King's awesome. I just recently started listening to him. I really enjoy his stuff.
Yeah, yeah. We
Um,
saw him open for Nathaniel Rateliff 2 summers ago, and man, yeah, he rips.
That's cool. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I wish I can go. Now you're going to New Year's Eve, right? Isn't that your plan?
For sure, yeah.
Man, I wish I had I wish I had the money just to go and do it. One of these days I
I
gotta
think this will
get
be
to
I
the New Year's Eve show.
think this will be our eighth. I think this will be our eighth time going.
Only the eighth time, man.
Maybe
So
seven. Maybe it's because we missed the COVID year, obviously. So maybe it's
right.
seven. I don't know. I'm having that year mess with everybody's timing. But
Yeah, time stopped being real. Not that time ever was real, but after COVID, time's just not real anymore. It's amazing to me that that was almost 4 years ago now.
yeah, that doesn't seem right.
I just caught a glimpse of myself in the camera, and here I am wearing a bandana, a purple bandana, in honor of you because this summer you were at your 100th show, and it just happened to be, well, it happened to be a very special weekend for you.
It
Um,
was.
Tell me about the whole thing. What happened? The bandanas I know was a big thing, and Liz Gregory sent me one of them, so I could feel
Yep.
like I was a part of the whole celebration that they had for you there. But tell
So
us about how that went
so
down.
the dates were July 7th, 8th, and 9th, which lined up perfectly with our wedding anniversary. The weekend that we got married at Red Rocks in 2017 was the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we got married on the 8th, the Saturday. And so we decided right away that we were going to do it. It was just kind of neat that we would celebrate our anniversary. And then I don't know, sometime in February or March, I started adding up shows and looking at the database, and I was like, wait a minute, that 8th is also going to be my 100th show. So that day turned out to be our 6th anniversary to the date, day, and place, and also my 100th show. To the point where we actually could have added, like Wolf Trap was earlier that summer, and people asked me if I was going to go, and I was like, I don't want to mess with this 100th show on my anniversary date. So we skipped shows to make sure that that was the day.
That's
And
pretty cool, though.
the bandanas I found out an hour before the show started. We were hanging out in the parking lot. Kim wandered off and came back with this stack of bandanas, and there were 900 of them handed
Wow.
out at Red Rocks. It was kind of neat for anybody.
There was 900 people wearing them there.
Yeah, and I'm going to say probably 700 of them had no idea. Like the 700 people were handing them out, just passing them around, handing them out in the bathrooms.
They just think purple bandanas or something with the Avetts now.
I think everybody gave them some sort of like a quick explanation on why, and
Gotcha.
I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, the
It was
picture I'm using for the episode to promote the episode is you standing in front of the rocks there with your purple bandana on top of the hat that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, that's been to a lot of shows.
So who's all signed that hat? I see a lot of signatures on there. I can assume who some of them are.
Let's see, Jim Avett, Tanya Elizabeth, that's Paleface and Mo. They've been on your show.
Nice, yeah.
Bob Crawford, Susie Avett, Bonnie, that's Dane, Cracker Farm.
Nice.
Scott Avett, that's Dolph. This is kind of some of the crew. This is Emily, who runs the guild now. Travis, who used to run the guild. Pete, who does the lights. David Childers, he's been on your show.
Nice, yeah.
Tim Mossberger, and this is probably the best one, Hazel Mossberger.
Very nice.
Right there.
Someday you're gonna have to get a Sally autograph on there.
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool.
That's a pretty cool hat. That's seen a lot of. Has that been to every single show you've been to?
This is actually volume 2. The first one, which had most of the same signatures on it, and I think maybe a couple others. I'm trying to remember, but that hat got worn out. It was just, it had been to too many hot July shows.
Yeah.
So that was hanging on the rack over in the other room. And Deb High Dennis, who's a North Carolina alum, got me this one. So this is volume 2 of the hat.
Volume 2, probably many more to come through the year.
Yeah, this one, I'm sure this one will go through the ringer as well.
Few hot summers to go on that one, maybe.
That's right.
So tell me more about the show and how special that was that day, especially the 100th show.
Well, it was very cool. The bandana thing was neat. That was a reference to The Office.
Of course, Prison Mike.
Prison Mike, that show is obviously set in Scranton, where I'm from. I've been sent to Facebook jail a couple times, and people made memes about. So that's where the bandana came from, and so that was a very neat thing. Everybody coming up, I mean, the camaraderie between the fans and everybody coming up to congratulate me or just say hi. And the coolest thing about the whole weekend is that it wasn't just my weekend. Is the next day was Kim Boyles, who's the wife of who was supposed to be your guest.
Yeah, he'll be on next week.
And Peggy Donica. They both had their 100th shows on the day after. So there were three 100 show celebrations that weekend, and everybody was great to all three of us. It was kind of a neat thing. And I'd gotten a request in through a bunch of other people, but I also put it in myself to hear Good to You, which was a song I had been chasing for 100 shows to that day. And they played it. And that was a very, very cool moment.
That is cool. So you had a little in with Tanya there. Is that how you got that one played?
Well, I did, but then I think some other people emailed Dolph, and I think
nice.
I think there were several people who, it's not what you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think a bunch of friends kind of got that to the band in multiple ways. And the surprise was spoiled a little bit, but I'm okay with spoiling surprise because earlier in the day somebody heard them sound checking it.
Oh, and they told you,
and they posted it like they're sound checking Good to You, and they never play Good to You. So I mean, it was
but they've sound checked other things that they don't play during the show. So
I actually heard Good to You at a sound check at a show in Vermont, and it was wide open. Like the stage was there, and the line was at the top of a hill. And this was in 2006, 15, so 8 years ago.
So technically, you've heard them play it before.
Yeah, and they sound checked it like all day. They played it like 8 times,
and then they didn't play it during the show.
And they didn't play it.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and something was off. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there must have been something just a little bit off that they said they didn't feel comfortable playing it. Or if they
Right,
sound checked it all day, you'd think they'd want to put it in the show,
yeah,
or
right.
were planning on it. Was it on the
But
set
no,
list?
I think they knew I was there, so they're like, we're not gonna play that one. He likes
Was it
that
on
one.
the set list that day though? Like,
I
did they
don't.
get crossed off or?
It was not on it because I think I have that. You can see all these set lists on the wall up here, and that is one of the ones I have. I should probably do some research and find out, but I'm almost certain it was not on. They didn't even put it on.
That's I would love to know. I would love to talk to them and find out, the science behind it. And there probably is absolutely no science behind it, but if they're sound checking a song that much, is
Yeah,
there just something a tiny bit off that they say they just scrap it, or were they planning on playing it, or whatever the deal is?
I've
I would
often
love to
wondered
hear
that
them.
because there's lots of times in a show where you can see them talk to each other. I think they call it calling an audible, where
Yeah.
they'll scrap a song and play something else,
Well, and I
and you
think they do
wonder,
that a lot. They do
I
that.
wonder what what was it that made you change your
Right,
mind? I
right.
guess it's probably a
There's
vibe.
just so many bands, it seems like, that have a set list, and they never veer off of it. I love that. You just never know what you're gonna hear them play.
Right, right.
How many
Yeah, it's
bands do that? I wonder. I mean, I've never really paid
not
attention
many.
too much.
The real big ones. They have like lighting cues and dancers and all that stuff, and they can't. Like I saw Pink with Brandy Carlisle this summer. Like she can't change that set list. They've got
Right.
so much stuff that's coordinated.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
song.
there's no audible. You can't call an audible and change the whole show.
Yeah,
There's too many people involved.
so
How
it's
was
kind of
that show, by the way?
it was mind blowing. I mean, it was really neat that the stadium was filled when Brandy came out. So I mean, that was kind of neat for her because she's
Yeah.
playing to 65,000 people. That was at PNC Park in Pittsburgh where the Pirates
Right.
play.
What a beautiful stadium that is,
And our
too.
seats were right in center field, so we were looking out over the bridge and the
Nice,
city.
nice.
And yeah, she's amazing. She's just a force of nature. She's just really
Brandy's
cool.
really blown up too. She's just really something. She's gonna be filling stadiums herself with like
I
that,
saw Brandy Carlisle open for the Avett Brothers in 2016. I mean,
right?
that's not happening again.
That is not happening again. No, I think they would open for her at
You'd be
this
the other
point.
way around. Yeah,
Funny how that happens. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, Pink is awesome too. She's just such a cool person. She's such a good person.
a
It
really good
seems like everything you see.
role model for young women and men.
Absolutely. She's
She's
so good with kids, and just her messages and stuff. That had to be an amazing show.
yeah,
Um,
it was.
so what else went on with the wedding anniversary? Did you cover everything on that?
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a great
that's what
day.
I was going to mention, that people even made stickers for the for
Yeah,
your anniversary and for your 100th show, and there were prison Mike stickers. I saw those, and
yeah.
uh,
Liz had some of those made, and my friend Sean
people just went
DeMellis.
above and beyond for you. It seemed like for that
Yeah,
whole weekend, and for other folks too, but
it was really overwhelming. Yeah, it was.
mostly you. So did you get overwhelmed? Like, did you sit there? Did it hit you when you were there, or did it hit you
It
afterwards?
was. I gotta say, it was a little overwhelming. So many people, and not in a bad way, in a really good way, but so
Right.
many people coming up to say hi. Um, I know a lot of people in this community, and it
People
was
like you.
that's always yeah. For some reason, it's always really nice when they come up and say hi and thank me for the group, which is it's not my group. It's there's 5 admins, and every time somebody says thank you for everything you do with the group, I always say the orchestra makes the music. So that Rejects is what it is because of the people in the group.
How
Yeah,
many how many members now? I haven't
30
looked lately.
almost 3,700, I think, something like around 3,700.
We got to get more in there somehow.
Well,
It's doing well.
we've kept it private, which
Yeah.
is all I mean, obviously we're out. It's not like it's a secret society, but we like to grow organically, where the members invite other people that they've met
Right.
and think would like the group. We don't want it to just be a public thing, and you got to worry about keeping out bots and all of that nonsense. So we
As soon as you go public, you're going to get inundated with those bots.
right. So yeah, we kind of like to grow organically if we the way we have.
It's such a fun group to be in. It blew me away when I first, joined in, whatever. just seeing how people interact with each other. Everyone's like a big family, but you don't have to just talk about the Avid brothers in there. People can bring stuff from their life into the group, and people care so much about each other that
Yeah.
really, I've seen a million posts where they say, I really didn't want to post this on my personal page,
Yeah.
but I'm going to post it here because I know you guys will understand or whatever. And it's like just such a nice community. And you really have done an amazing job to keep the bad stuff out of it. And I think people just get it.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, Steve and Jocelyn and Kim and Michelle Little and I take a lot of pride in that what you just said, that, and that's one of our rules. That's not really a rule, but you don't have to start a post with not AVIT related, but there's no reason to do that. You can talk about whatever you want.
And, and people do talk about anything and everything.
We'd
And,
rather you talk about presidential politics and all that stuff.
well,
But
that's one thing I've noticed is that people really don't bring politics into stuff, and if they do, it kind of gets pushed out real fast.
yeah, nothing good can come from that.
No,
we
no.
don't need to talk about that.
And I think everyone probably in the group, I shouldn't say that. Not everyone has the same viewpoints, but there's a big group of people that have similar viewpoints that are in the group together. Because I mean, everyone kind of thinks in the same ways, but I know not everyone politically. It's
Right.
such a weird thing to bring into that group that
Yeah,
it just
there's
it can't be a part of it.
there's no reason. I can't tell you how many times I'll post something on my personal page, and someone will say, "I can't believe you're talking about this in the group." I'm not.
Yeah.
I think people. I'm just synonymous with Rejects in the Attic. So if no matter what I say personally, people are like,
shocked by it.
You think that it's the group that's saying that? I'm like, no, it's not.
I can't stand politics and everything about them, but it's just a weird time right now that we're living in.
To put it lightly, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been for several years, but it just seems to be getting weirder by the day. And who knows what's going to end up happening, but I'm so glad that politics aren't a part of that group, because that is a place to go and just be safe and say what you want for the most part, and just be amongst people that think musically the same way. I just love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that day, all those people came up to me all day saying pretty much that. Thank you for creating that space, and it's very kind, and I love it, but it does get a little overwhelming. You run out of ways to say you're welcome. You're like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, well, it's a great place, and if anyone's listening that's not part of the group that wants to be, just what do you have to get invited? Is that it to
any member of the group? But like I said, there's 3,700 of us, so all they have to do is invite you to the group. And one of the admins, it's almost always me because I'm always have my phone in my hand. We'll just look at it and there's the only criteria really is that a member invited you in good standing, and then you just look at it and make sure it's not a fake person or anything like that, and they'll approve it almost immediately.
You know what drives me crazy is I don't know if it's as much in Rejects, but in other Avid groups or other just poster groups or whatever, these people that go in there and try to scam you. And you see this a lot with the poster sales. And I had someone reach out to me. I'm like, oh, I need a poster buddy for this show. And this guy's like, oh, I grabbed an extra one. You interested? And then you look through the comments of the whole post, and the same person did this like 30 times.
30 times.
How many extra posters did you get?
Yeah, right.
And people fall for that stuff.
On the Avetts homepage, it's the worst, because I think the admins of most of the fan groups do a pretty good job of keeping those people out. But on the Avetts, it's a public page, so their Facebook page, it's all the time. People put, I grabbed either tickets or a poster, and I have extra tickets and they haven't even gone on sale yet. I usually comment exactly what you just said. I usually comment, do people really fall for this?
They do, though. You see it all the time. Like there was underneath my comment on that post, because I was like ready to pounce on the guy because I knew he was fake right when he said I grabbed an extra, I'm like, you can't have more than one. More than likely,
Right.
the limit's one when you're at a show. It used to be more than that, I think, right?
So
But
some of them have no limits, but as it got to be,
oh my gosh, yeah,
yeah, you can see I've had some poster buddies over the years.
it's awesome. Liz is a good one to get too because she goes to so many shows.
I
She
nicknamed
always
her
comes through.
I nicknamed her the merch mule because
She's gotten me some other stuff too.
that
She's
last run she went on where she did all over the West Coast and the Midwest and
oh, it's
Utah.
crazy. She went to a million shows.
Yeah, she came back with like multiple poster tubes full of posters. It was. She's pretty great about it.
She must have brought an extra suitcase or two. I know they were traveling by car though, so it's not like they were flying at least.
Right.
She had to have like a whole section of her car was stuff for other people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, she's
And
pretty. And
she's just so gracious and willing to do that. I love it.
she's the best.
Anyway, it's a great group. We appreciate everything you do. You are the mayor. I guess you could say of all the admins, you're like the mayor of
I'm
Avettville.
the. I'm unfortunately the face of the face of the operation. I think
Does everyone, when there's issues, everyone comes to you too, right? When there's problems,
a
if
lot
there's
of times, depending on that, then I'll bring that to the group. But I think they reach depending on what the issue is. I think they'll pick which admin they want to reach out to, and then we have a side admin group that will bring that issue to, and then we
ah,
we
okay.
always talk.
I wondered,
But
like,
there's
with the 5 different admins, do you have like different roles that each person does? I know, like, Steve seems to do like artwork. He
Steve's
does the cover photos and stuff like
he's
that.
always great with the cover photos, and we made a point to have 3 females and 2 males because that's about the percentage of the makeup of the group.
Okay.
So we try to keep that. So just if there's ever any issues that are delicate like that, there almost never is. That stuff doesn't come up. But we also tried to make a point of having people in every time zone. So if there's an issue that comes up,
Good idea.
late at night for me. So that
Late
used
at
to be.
night for you is like 8 o'clock, man.
Yeah, this is already late. What is it?
Yeah,
9:04?
I've got you past your bedtime tonight here.
This is crazy. Yeah.
No Yankee game on tonight, so this is
Right.
normally Ganz sleepy time right now.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing. Well,
Keep,
Big
keep me up
Brother's
late.
on. Big Brother's on tonight, and there's college football is back now too. So that's
That is true. My college football team stopped playing college football about 10 years ago, so it's tough to watch. But they start this weekend too, so we'll see. Do you want to talk baseball at all? Probably not, right? Is there any point?
Are they still playing? I mean, is it
Yeah.
still
Well, it'll be fun tomorrow with the kids
new
coming.
new kids coming up? Yeah, I was talking with my friend Paul today. He's also in the group about who to root for going forward, and I think
Orioles.
I think we're both on the page.
Yeah.
Orioles, and I feel like being from Pennsylvania, I got to root for the Phillies a little.
Really?
Yeah, I mean just a little, not a lot. Now that Harrison Bader's on the Reds, maybe I'll pull for the Reds.
See, I was just gonna say that. I'm gonna pull for the Reds to squeak into a playoff spot because I really like Harrison Bader. Sad that the Yankees let him go, but I get it. They're making space basically for Jason Dominguez to come up tomorrow. But
right.
Yeah, I'll cheer for the Reds. I like the Orioles. They've been fun the last
anybody
couple
other than Houston or Tampa. I mean, besides that, I don't really care as long as those guys win again. I'd rather the Dodgers didn't win either, but
yeah.
I mean, I kind of have no problem with the Braves. I don't have no problem with the Phillies.
Right.
The
I don't
Reds
want the Astros or the Rays to win a playoff game.
I'd be all right if they didn't win a game again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I hope Jack Pointer's listening to that.
Yeah. And Liz. She's big.
Yeah, and Liz too.
Jack, boy, that's tough. I like Jack a lot, but his choice and he's from there, whatever, it's fine.
And the Rangers are going to make it too. Like, so that's like
that's like both his teams.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Oh God, no. And they're in the ALCS playing against each other.
They're both going to make it too. It looks like.
Oh, they're both playoff teams, sure. Anyway, all right, enough baseball.
Yeah,
Yankees will be back next year with a very young team, and hopefully
that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it will be fun. I think they need more pitching. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, so music. You picked a bunch of songs for the show tonight, the episode. Do you want to talk about those? Why you picked them?
Sure.
What we're going to listen to here around this interview? I think we're running. Are we running out of time already?
I don't know. What
Yeah,
time do we start?
I didn't even look at what time we started. That's not good.
Well, and you'll probably have to remind me. I know the Bernie sisters, April Come She Will is on that list.
Yeah, I've got it
That
here in
was,
front of me now.
man, those kids, and I gotta stop calling them that because they're just wise and talented.
They
It's
are kids though.
way beyond their years. Yeah, they're 13 and 15. Emma's gonna be 16
I
soon.
have kids older, basically the same age as them, and they are
Their,
kids,
their mom, April Schaefer, today's her birthday, and that's one of the
right?
things I do with Rejects is every day I do the list of birthdays, and I always pick a song that has to do with one of the Rejects names.
This is cool.
So,
This is cool.
so, so I'd known it was April's birthday coming up, and I knew I was going to use Simon and Garfunkel's "April Come She Will." It's just a beautiful song, and I know it just occurred to me, wouldn't it be neat if I reached out to the girls and had them sing this song for their mom?
And the version they did was phenomenal.
Within a day, like, yeah, Emma put it together. I don't know if they knew the song. I mean, I feel like they know. I know Emma loves Emma and Bella. I know they love Simon and Garfunkel,
They
but
must have known that song. If they
they,
just learn, if they learned that in a day, that's amazing. Even more amazing.
I'm sure they had worked it out before they recorded it. But yeah, you'll
Oh,
hear
sure.
that. So that was great. Good to
But
You is on
they
my
are
list
talented.
by the Avett Brothers. Good to You is on my list because that was my request for my 100th show, and Ill with Want was Kim Boyle's request for her 100th show. I managed to get that one. I did get to the band through Tanya to play Ill with Want, and they played that for her
Nice.
on her day on Sunday. Peggy Donica's request was oddly enough Good to You, so she got it. They played it again that weekend. They played it twice. They hadn't played it only played it 16 times ever, and they played it twice
That's
that weekend.
awesome. That's awesome. How cool that the band actually does stuff like that. Like if people
Yeah, it's
request,
really
they
neat.
actually can do that
They're
and get it
they're
in.
grateful that so many people get to. I mean, 100 shows is a long dedication
I wonder
to a
if they
band.
seriously, if they ever think about that, how dedicated their fan base is. Do you think they actually sit there and
Yeah,
think about it?
I think they do. I think they are incredibly grateful for
And the
their
older
fan.
they get, they probably think about it more, I would think. When they were younger,
Right.
they probably couldn't care less, but
Right. Yeah, you start like all of us with just about anything.
they
So
must
can tell,
recognize faces in the crowd though, because so many of the same people are at their shows.
well, I'll tell you why I wear this hat every time. We went to a show and getting off track of what I was
That's okay.
talking
I know
about.
we are, but that's okay.
Uh, we went to a show in Portland, Maine on the 4th of July. And then the next day I'm trying to think of what year this was, 2016? I think so. That I went to a lot of shows. That was my biggest year. So New Haven, Connecticut, the next day, we were standing outside and Bob Crawford walked by and said, "Hey, I hope you had a good time last night." And I looked at him like, "How do you know me?" And he pointed, he said, "The hat." I said, we see that. And I have worn it to every single show
That's
since then,
cool.
since he said that, because I was like, oh, they see the hat. Yeah, they definitely recognize. We were in Providence, Rhode Island this year. And, I was in the front off to the side. There was a little abutment that came off the stage. Scott saw me, came right for me, and shook my hand from the stage. So yeah, they definitely see faces.
That's cool. And I know that's neat that they appreciate. They must appreciate the fans. How can you not appreciate a fan
Yeah,
base like they have? Uh,
right, right.
all right, back to the songs. Going off on a
Okay.
tangent.
Zach Bryan, uh, Spotless was one of them. He released an album last week that is just it's
I
re- it's real
I haven't
it's
listened to
real
it yet.
it's really good. And I was like a marginal fan, I think, and then I knew songs and I listened to them before, and this album came out, and I've been listening to it on repeat ever since. Spotless is the song he did with the Lumineers, and it's one of those songs you hear it and you sing it all day long.
Oh,
He,
can't
he's a
wait to
great
hear it.
song. He's a great songwriter. He's going on tour. Well, he's on tour now, but he's playing next year with Jason Isbell. Is
Oh,
opening up a couple shows,
nice.
and
Spe- Speaking of
that's
him,
one.
he's on your list too here.
He's on my list. Yeah, This Ain't It, which is and that's I saw Jason Isbell twice this summer. Once here in Port Chester, New York, and then went down to Myrtle Beach and visited my family. My sister and my brother live down there, and saw him at the House of Blues. And This Ain't It, especially live. Uh, and it sounds like the Allman Brothers reincarnated. Like
That's cool.
it's a
Isabel's
great song.
great. He's great.
Yeah, he's probably my second favorite artist right now. He's a great
Who's your
song.
first?
It's hard to say. Yeah, yeah. Um, and who else is on that list?
You got Drew Holcomb next.
Oh, Drew Holcomb. I was trying to think of people we saw this summer. We saw Drew Holcomb in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I discovered Drew Holcomb open. He opened for one of those New Year's Eve shows. It was
He's great.
I knew nothing, and
Yeah.
his band came out and blew me away.
Yes, I didn't know him at all until I did one of those my request shows that I did, and someone requested him, and I had ended up playing a couple songs. I'm like, man, this is really good. I've never heard of him before.
He writes great songs. Sometimes his wife Ellie joins them on stage,
Right.
and yeah, we saw in Mexico. They were one of the side stage people, and it was just Drew and Ellie doing like a acoustic type show.
That had to be amazing.
And I just got tickets for them today. They're playing in Bethlehem next April, and I just got tickets for them again. So
Are they
yeah,
playing at the beach next year with the Avetts too?
I don't
Did I
think so.
see? No,
I don't think they're on the bill. I don't think so.
I can't remember
No,
who's on there now. I know Langhorn's on there, right?
right, Lord Huron. Yeah, I don't know. We
Yeah.
can't make it next year. We're not going to do it.
No Mexico, huh?
No, can't do it. Can't do it every year.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's a cheap trip.
No, it's not.
Nothing cheap about it. All right, do you remember who you had next? Because I have it here if you need help.
I know I had Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick on there. Was there somebody before them?
Nope, that was the last one.
That was it. We're going tomorrow night, and this was like out of character. My wife surprised me. I'm usually the one who's like, I bought these tickets for this show, and I hope you want to go. So, but she did that. I was actually down in Myrtle Beach which I did. I went to without her, and she texted me and said, I got tickets for Rod Stewart. Cheap Trick is opening up. I was like, okay, Rod Stewart's
Nice.
a living legend, and he's
Absolutely.
78 years old. So how many more chances are you going to get? And Cheap Trick's one of those bands where you don't realize how many songs they have until you start you start listening to them and you're like, oh, that's right. Yeah, that one too. Yeah, you forget about it.
Absolutely.
So,
I've seen them twice live. And one time, I was telling you this earlier today, we were sitting in the front row. We had front row seats, and that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to in my life. Because it's like you said, I didn't remember this was a Cheap Trick song. Like every song was a hit. And they were throwing picks into the crowd constantly, and it was just a great time. Great show.
We'll be in the lawn outside,
Yeah.
GA lawn. So if they're throwing picks, they better have good arm. They better have a good arm because
I don't think his arm's as good as it used to be.
It's going to be at Bethel Woods, which is where Woodstock was. So that'll be a neat place.
Oh, that's where you're going tomorrow?
Yeah, that's where we're
Bethel
going.
Woods is a great venue.
It's a neat venue. Yeah.
My wife went last year with my oldest daughter to see Jimmy Buffett there, and I've never been there, but she said it was spectacular, just a beautiful place. And they went nice and early, so they got to tour the old Woodstock, the original
grounds.
grounds there. And
there's
like
a museum.
It was fascinating, she said. So I got to get there someday.
Yeah, it's a neat place. And so yeah, we're looking for that. So, yeah, so I picked Cut Across Shorty. I think Rod Stewart, which is one of the older ones from I think when it might have even been when he was when Faces. And Surrender. Cheap Trick that's just a classic song.
Classic song. Great. That's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Rod Stewart before?
Not Rod Stewart. I was thinking about it after you said you had seen Cheap Trick twice, and I remembered that I have seen Cheap Trick in like 1992, showing my age now, but at a place called the Chestnut Cabaret in Philadelphia. I worked for Sam Goody, a chain of record stores that is now defunct. But
so you went to a concert when you were 6 years old? That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make you sound younger.
They let me in. Yeah, thanks.
At a bar, 6-year-old Mike Ganz.
I think my district manager or something was a big Cheap Trick fan, and he was like, "You want to go see Cheap Trick?" And I was like, "Well, okay, whatever." And
it was a great show, right?
Same thing. Yeah, they were great. They were fantastic.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they're still great now, all these years later.
Yeah, they got to be getting up there in years too, but
still I'm sure it'll be great.
It'll be a fun night. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, good choices, good music for the episode here. Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming on short notice.
No problem at all. I think it's I like pinch hitting for Ryan is an honor.
Yeah, next week Ryan Boyles will be on. He said he promises he'll come on next week. He had to cancel a couple times on me this week. He's in North Carolina, and amazingly, not one of the reasons wasn't the hurricane coming through.
Oh, yeah.
They really escaped that whole situation. He said they had some lawn work to take care of to pick up some branches and things, but the worst of it was to their east. So they
I
lost
think
it there.
I think it's he and Kim's. I think it's their wedding anniversary today. Maybe today or maybe it might have been yesterday.
Yeah, I know it was either yesterday or today, and one of their kids was coming home to visit for his birthday tonight. They surprised them. That was tonight's
Well,
thing, so.
one of their kids go to North Carolina, so
Oh, okay. That
and I
explains
know
that.
they just had the shooting incident there, so that had to be a scary day for parents. But yeah,
Definitely.
happy anniversary to them. They're a great couple and good friends.
I
I'm
can't
sure
wait to have him on because he's got stories for me. He's like, I've
got
got 3 stories for you. That's going to be our episode. I'm like, okay.
brush up
Can
on
you
your
tell me about him a little bit? He goes, no. So I'm going to be surprised what they are, but I'm sure they're good because I've heard he's a funny guy. And
he's funny and he's a giant nerd. Brush up on your Star Wars trivia.
oh, okay. Well, I'm not a Star Wars nerd. I have family that is Star Wars nerd, so I can hold my own a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm not a Star Wars nerd. I've seen pictures of him with Baby Yoda a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Look at that. We're running out of time. We got 2 minutes left. Anything else you want to throw out there and for people?
I don't think so. I think
When's your new single coming out? Nothing? No, you're not going to sing a song for us quick?
I don't know. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And it's past your bedtime. So
Right.
time for
Right.
bed. All right.
Well,
thanks for coming on. It went fast. It always does. The show flies by. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to maybe a third time coming on the show someday.
Well, anytime you need me to
yeah, you're like my pinch hitter.
I'm available.
You're like Aaron Judge off the bench.
That's right.
Don't say it. Except today didn't work.
He grounded out the short, the guy on second base. You got to hit it. You got to at least hit it to the second base side, move the runner over.
All right. Well, next time you come on, hit it to you hit it to the right side today.
I will.
That was beautiful. Good job. You move Ryan over to third. All right, Michael Ganz, thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks very much.
Yep. All right. Take care.